WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, X, and our website, www.wvtcdetroit.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. Thank you for tuning to WVTC Radio Detroit and the Community Bell Show with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner, Edna Bell. Stay tuned for insightful information Detroiters will find valuable. Text a friend and tell them to watch with you for news you can use. And now, your host, Edna Bell.
Hello. It is Monday at 4:00, so it must be the Community Bell Show. Thank you so much for joining us. We are always happy to have you. And the sun is shining, but it's cold, everybody. We had snow yesterday. There was snow on my car, um, and I didn't have the equipment to get it off. So I just said, oh, well, the sun will have to bake it off because all my equipment is at my daughter's house in her garage. I have to go by her house to get my snow stuff to clean off snow off the car, but it's still a good day. We're in good health, so we're going to be thankful the day is. We're going to talk about a lot of good stuff. I've got some wonderful young people here to talk about too today. They got stuff that they know if they're going to talk about. But the first thing I want to say is I'm disappointed in you, Detroit. I told you last Monday that you needed to get to the polls and vote. And I also told you if you didn't vote, don't come to me and complain about anything because I'm not. Obviously, you didn't care enough to go out and vote, so you can't complain. And I know that sounds harsh, but you can't complain if you didn't vote. So you didn't do it. You did a little bit better than you did in the primary, but it wasn't anywhere near good enough. L. Williams, welcome to the show. Tashana Gill, welcome to the show. You know, everybody knows Tashana, but L is new to the show. L. Your word, that's right. So, L, welcome back. Welcome back. We're so glad to have you. The first thing I want to talk about is the election because I know you were on a lot talking about turnout and folks get up off your duff and go to the polls. There was no reason. It was a beautiful day, so you have no excuse. It wasn't raining, wasn't windy, wasn't cold, was none of that. So, talk about that, Al, for just a minute.
No, I'm
for me.
disappointed as well.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
Education, opportunity, business opportunity, all that stuff is always on the ballot. And I know we care more about those issues than what we're letting off. And so when we saw 13% turnout years ago and then 16% turnout in the primary, we understood that it was very important for us to get involved and get engaged, not necessarily for candidates, but definitely for voter
Just
turnout.
the fact for voter turnout, the fact that you want to get involved, you want to have a say in what goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Absolutely.
so we joined a program. We started a program with the National Black Empowerment Council called Lift Every Voice and Vote, where we're focused on the faith-based community as well as the community at large. But we've partnered with over 20 churches between the primary and the general to work with them to get to 100% voting membership. And we know the Black church used to be very powerful
Yes.
when it came to relational organizing and getting people to get out and vote. And so we're trying to help them reestablish that power by giving them the resources, the tools, and the technology they need to stay up to date with their members, know which one of their members are registered, who's not
Yes.
registered, who's voting absentee, who's voting at the
All
polls,
that.
and then use that to help mobilize their membership.
So important. But one of the things that I'd like us to also do is get a lot more engaged with the school system in civics classes, particularly for juniors and seniors in high school. And I know this is going to go 50 plus years back, but when I was in high school, as a senior, we voted. They brought voting machines into the schools and we voted. It wasn't that those votes counted towards the election, but it was getting us ready for what was coming. And so we had the opportunity to get comfortable in the voting machine and to know how to punch those holes. It was punching holes at those. I know so, we were punching holes, but it made us ready for our civic responsibility and to understand that there's something that you need to learn how to do besides reading, writing, arithmetic. You need to understand what your civic responsibility is. And we're going to start you now so that you understand that in a few weeks, few months, most of you are going to be turning 18 because you're seniors now.
And actually, too, it started a little earlier than that because I remember in 8th grade, middle school, you had your elections at school, but it was a civics class that taught you the 3 branches of government.
Yes, yes.
I don't know if that even exists anymore in schools. I'm not sure, like down to detail, how bills are created and things like that, to where it became part of life.
Exactly.
It was normal. So then when you became 18, it was expected.
Yes.
So yeah.
And the other part of that is that if children were doing it, they could take that home to the parents who might not have been thinking about it, who might not have been doing it, might not have been even understood how to do it. But we need to get that.
We need to get
we
back
need to
to
get
that.
back to starting early so that we can translate that into votes when you get to 18.
Yeah, there was a time when we ran a program 2001, maybe 2004, before Obama was elected, Vote Smart Detroit.
Yeah.
And we went into the high schools. We brought entertainment. We brought young elected officials. And then we also sometimes were able to get the clerk to provide voting machines
Yes.
to help students understand the importance of that election. We haven't continued that program, but I think it's absolutely important that we get people ready. Kids should be going to vote with you. And if not, we need to make sure that we have some sort of apparatus of civic engagement or education in our high schools. And I think that's where it all starts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's what I'm going to be advocating for over the next few years is let us get back to doing it in high school and middle school so that they understand at an early age how important it is and how to do it so that
How to
it
do
isn't a
it.
mystery. You're not afraid to go into
You're
a
not
voting location.
afraid.
And you're not afraid that, oh, somebody's going to be looking over my shoulder or somebody's going to try to tell me what to do. None of that. And so we've got to get back to making sure that at least they know
That's
how.
true.
And then that's what I'm going to be pushing for. And I know I'll have your support as
Oh,
well.
yes.
As we
Absolutely.
talk
Yes,
to
yes.
school board members and the new mayor who wants to get engaged with schools and wants to get more participation. That's one of the things I think we can start doing. That's an easy one.
That's
No,
an
that's
easy
an
one.
easy one.
That's an
That's
easy one. So we need to start with the easy stuff. The easy stuff. Now, let me talk about something else that I just love what you guys have done, and that's the African American Leadership Institute. Talk about how it got started and why.
You go right ahead. 'Cause you are the founder and created this lovely institute.
Yeah, so about 14, 15 years ago, during the height of the beginning of emergency management here in Michigan, when black cities across the state of Michigan, Muskegon, Benton Harbor, Highland Park, Pontiac, Flint, Saginaw, were sort of being taken over by the state at one point. They were reducing the power of different mayors and city council and installing what we then called a dictator to make all the decisions for us. One of the things that we realized it was happening in black cities, but black elected officials and black leaders weren't really talking about it nor working together to fight it. From different cities. So Pontiac and Flint folk weren't talking. Saginaw and Highland Park folk weren't talking. And of course,
Benton Harbor and all the other spots.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And so we started the African American Leadership Institute as a way to try to get black leaders from around Michigan to start talking about the issues and to try to coalesce around at least one issue that we can all fight for or fight on. And what came out of that, one of the things that came out of that, it's a whole bunch of stuff, but one of the things that came out of that was the African American Leadership Awards, which we do every year now. This is our 12th annual. This year, it's going to be at the Detroit Institute of Arts. We've had it there the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But it started at Lear Corporation at their world headquarters. One of the co-founders is former Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence. And we tell the stories of today and yesterday to inspire the stories and history makers of tomorrow. And so, a lot of people have come out of that. We were able to award Emerging Leader of the Year to multiple people who have won statewide prior to them winning. So, for instance, Garland Gilchrist, Kyra Harris Bolden. Last year, before a lot of people in Michigan even knew who she was, we brought Letitia James to town to sort of inspire folk. But we've also had people like Keith Ellison out of Minnesota, was from Detroit, but Attorney General Keith Ellison and many, many others who've come along the way, not only to tell their story, but also for us as a city and as leaders to recognize the great work that they do.
I want to give. Let me stop you right there, because when you brought Letitia James to town last year, there was a young man who was at that event, and he was kind of new when he was wandering around. So I grabbed him. We sat down and talked. And he said, I'd like to see if I can get to meet Letitia James. I'm here. Young, and it turns out it was a young man that you hosted yesterday who's running.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes. I was working a poll on election day, and he was working the same poll I was working.
Wow.
And we started talking. He said, Miss Bell, where'd I meet you? He said, I met you at the Letitia James event last year.
Oh,
and
wow.
And at the time I said, well, you need to come to these kind of events, meet some of these people. And, one day, what do you know? You may side you want to run for.
And now he's running.
And now he's
he's
running for
running.
office. And that's the kind of thing that needs to happen. But yet he was at that event. He said, what can I do? So I said, let me get you there. So I snuck him upstairs. He said,
You didn't have to
he
sneak
said, I don't
him.
know anybody.
But you didn't have to sneak him. You could have just said, hey, come on. But the
I was so
interesting
pleased
thing-
that that's what it is.
Oh, man.
Yesterday-
I
he
did not
do.
know that. I didn't know
Yes,
that.
that's where he started.
Yesterday, we hosted the passing of the torch,
Okay.
where previous awardees get to meet
The dude.
current nominees and
Mhm.
tell their stories and all that good stuff. An interesting story when you say everybody was so separated. We had a young lady drive from Lansing,
Yep.
Senator
Sarah Anthony.
Mhm.
Sarah Anthony, and she told the story like when it first got started, she won. She was a commissioner at the
She
time,
just got elected
and
to-
nobody knew her.
Yeah.
Definitely on the western, definitely
On
on
the
this
east
side
side
of the
town.
state, the east side of town.
Yeah.
And when we sat in that boardroom, because it's actually a committee that votes on the winners,
Mhm.
I was having a conversation with her. I told her, you know, when Al brought your name up in a committee, because it was mostly people on the east side of the state, they were like, what? What did she, who, you know,
Who
it
is
was
she?
a whole, and he was like, you know, there's people,
On the
there are
other side
us
of the
in
state.
Lansing, right? And he said, this young lady is our future. She's going to be this, she's going to be that. And look at her, Sarah Anthony.
Anthony.
And yesterday she nominated somebody.
Right.
Okay.
And you know, she's passing it along, passing the torch. So that was beautiful.
Isn't that
So
beautiful?
that was beautiful.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
she was like, I thank you know, she was just so grateful. She said the award, because at the time it wasn't awards, it was plaque.
I remember.
And she said it sits in her office in Lansing. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so rewarding to see. And when I was talking to this young man last week, and he said, "That's you."
That's right.
And I said, I got to tell Al that because that's where he first decided that he wanted to get involved. And he was a young man. He was by himself. He couldn't figure out which way to go.
Mhm.
He's
And
determined.
yes, he is determined. But that's where he got his impetus when that Bishop James event.
Man, that's wonderful. That's a beautiful story. I
Mhm.
did not know that.
Yes.
And shout out to Arthur Harrington.
Yes.
There are a few others that sort of have had similar stories.
It's so many. It's so many. The list goes on and on. But I will say, when Deanna Austin, and she's with Mother and Justice, and we were in a room at a meeting, and she started naming the people she knew, and she said, "You know what? I've met all of you from attending our events through African American leadership," and
Yeah.
that was a good moment. Like she helped
Mhm.
build her relationships and elevate her career and all these things. And that's what we aim to do. We aim to share knowledge, share communication, share
Absolutely.
relationships, share connections. That's what the world is supposed to be about.
Absolutely. You can't hold on to it. You got to
Yeah,
share it.
you
You
gotta
got to
share it.
and you've got to make sure you bring young people into the fold. We can't sit back and say, "Oh, that's some young people." We're not going to. You got to bring them in.
You gotta bring them in.
If you want everything to succeed, want to move forward, you've got to bring the young people in
Yeah.
and make sure they feel comfortable and welcome. Is the other piece. You just can't bring them in a room and have them sit over there while you sit over here and have some conversation.
And then ask,
You've
where
gotta-
are they?
Yeah, you got to include them in the conversation.
Yeah.
Get their thoughts and ideas, and that's how you bring them along. But yeah, I was so pleased with Arthur.
I didn't know that.
Yes, yes.
I didn't know that either. No, but this year we're doing it on November 20th, which is not this Thursday, but next week Thursday, at the Detroit Institute of Arts again, which is one of the most premier locations
absolutely.
in the city. I would say in the state. We have a whole bunch of people coming this year, including the mayor of Gary, Indiana, as a guest. Shirley Murdoch will be there. We just
okay.
had her in town a couple of weeks ago or so.
Senator Leah Webb,
Senator Leah Webb out of New York.
a councilwoman, Chelsea Clark from Ohio. Like it right now, Al is not saying, so I will say it is the largest African American award show in the Midwest right now. This is the largest, and people are coming from all around the country
It's
to
what a
attend.
blessing.
Mhm.
It's grown from
Mhm.
us backing up traffic on Telegraph
Yeah.
all the way
There.
down to 690.
Yes,
They're
yes,
incorporated,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
They had to
yes.
bring the police in,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we stopped traffic on Yeah, and so we've been from
Do you
Lear
remember
to
those days?
To the African American
African
Museum.
Yep,
Yeah.
to the
We
music hall.
outgrew the
Yes,
that
yes.
museum.
We outgrew the museum. Then we went to the music hall, and then now we're at the DIA. So it's been a journey, a 12-year journey, and I'm really excited about this year, and really excited to continue to hear the stories. I mean, I think one of the things that we first did was highlight a number of Black mayors that from the past to try to inspire people of today. We also talked a lot about Richard Austin.
Yes.
That's
yes.
another reason why we
Yes.
started this. I can remember going around the state with Deborah
Yes.
Thomas,
And nobody knew.
and
him.
nobody can really tell, or nobody really knew the story of Richard Austin.
Yes,
He was
isn't
a
that
Secretary of
amazing?
State.
Nobody knew
For
it.
ages.
Yeah.
Nobody
Until
still
he
knows
did,
it.
He decided to leave.
Yeah, so
He's the reason why they created term limits.
Exactly. He's the reason why they
Because he
created
kept-
term
that's
limits.
right.
Yeah,
Just wondered,
yeah.
Because this Black man kept winning statewide in Michigan.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's the sad part.
Yeah, so it was so it's those stories like that, and then the one about Arthur being inspired from being there that really keep this thing going every year.
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's just so good to see the young people that keep coming.
It's
And
powerful.
it
It
is-
gives us energy. I would say when you do this type of work, what keeps you going is watching somebody that started and then less than a year they are.
Zoom.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, this is why.
It works.
Because you want to stop sometimes. Like, oh my God,
I can't stop.
this is
Can't
exhausting.
stop. And
But
then you
those
go-
are the stories that they feed us. Those stories feed us and keep us going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you think about the legacy, when you think about the John Conyers and the Alma Stallworth and all
We
of
did
those,
them.
yes, I was there. I remember.
Yes.
When you think about those people and the legacy that they have left,
Yeah.
you can't stop.
And the interesting part, we was with a young man who was very into politics on Belle Isle, and he was working for one of the top elected officials in the state, and he didn't know who John Conyers was.
Oh yeah.
Al almost threw him in the river.
Yeah.
And
I
I said, just explain. No,
that's the
he was
sad-
working.
that's the sad part.
Actually, I'm telling you, he was working for the governor.
That's the sad
And we were
part.
on
How
Belle
could-
Isle, and Al said, "Well, do you know? We just got on John Conyers." He's like, "Who?
Well, did he live in
Who was
Michigan?
that?
Was he from
Yes,
Michigan?
yes, he lived in
Wow.
Michigan."
Yeah.
Well, and it
Yes.
wouldn't matter whether he was from Michigan or not. Everybody in the country.
Yeah, should know who John Conyers
Oh,
is.
know
Yeah.
who
so
John
those
Conyers
are
is.
yes.
Yeah, so I mean that's but then again it goes back to the lack of that education. I think it not knowing our history, leaders who have stepped up and done so many things to provide opportunities that a lot of people younger than me have no idea
No idea.
the opportunities that have been presented and provided to them by some leaders of the past that they don't even know. But if we don't tell their stories,
Who will?
then they will not only that, but they're less susceptible to get engaged.
That's right. And
Or
that's the
this,
key,
yeah.
telling the story and keeping the story alive. One of the things that I do with my 3 grandkids and a couple of their little friends, I sit them down and I tell them the family story. So that they understand where their great grandfather came from in Alabama, how he had to get out of Dodge because he was so outspoken, and then had to sneak back in and get his family and take them to Arkansas. That's how they got to Arkansas. But they don't hear those stories.
Yeah.
They don't know those
Story
stories.
must be told.
The stories have to be told. How their great uncle was killed and found in the bow in Alabama. That's when their great grandfather decided, I got to get my family out of here. So they don't know those stories, and they don't know where they come from, and how you might not know what happened and what the gene is, but that's what it is.
And that's
Right.
what it is.
That's what keeps you going.
Right.
And so we have to tell those stories and make
Yeah.
sure they understand that this isn't just what you heard.
Right.
This happened.
This happened.
This happened, and even the stories that are so local, like the Royal Oak Township
Mm-hmm.
story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that story has to continue to be told.
It has to.
Because people still don't believe it when I say to them, I grew up in Royal Oak Township.
Yeah.
I had every teacher in the school was black. The principal and assistant principal
Oh no, they
were
don't.
black.
They would be
And they
like,
look at you
really?
like, in the 50s, 60s?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they look at you, really? Well, how did you get to Northern High School? Well, we couldn't walk to Ferndale. They wouldn't let us walk to Ferndale.
right. Yeah.
So they said, how expensive is racism? They sent 9 buses, right? Yes, service buses
To Northern.
to Royal Township, Wyoming and 8 Mile every morning at 7 o'clock,
Mm.
and bust us to Northern High
Oh
School.
wow.
And then another 9 that afternoon and took us back to Royal Township just because they didn't want us to walk to Ferndale High School. We could have walked to Ferndale.
What is right?
We could have
Same zip
walked to
code.
Ferndale. Yes.
Yeah.
We were, and so if people don't know those stories, they don't understand the implications of what's going on today.
Yeah, you're right. Royal Oak Township, little do people know, has a whole bunch of superstars come out of Royal Oak
Oh
Township.
my goodness,
Uh-huh.
yes.
And so,
yes.
you're right. That those days and that wall right there on the other side
On
of
the
8
other-
Mile,
mhm, at Burwood, the Burwood Wall.
Burwood
the
Wall.
Burwood Wall.
a lot of people don't
Mhm.
know about
They
that.
don't know. They don't know. And so those stories have to continue to be told, because if not, they'll get lost and the younger generation
They'll
won't
die.
understand what the fight was really about. And it's
Yeah.
still about.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually we're hitting on something. That's the problem right now with voting and other things. The difference between we talk about this, the African American community and other
Mhm.
races, that they tell their story. They
It's-
continue to tell their stories no matter what. So it won't die. Over and over, repeat.
Look at the
again
Jewish
and again.
Holocaust
Yeah,
story
I
in
was about to
South
say,
Carolina.
every
That's
black
what I-
person know about the Holocaust. They don't know
They
about Richard
tell
Austin.
their story.
Yes, yes.
And we
Yeah, we gotta do
don't
better.
tell our stories.
We have got to
We
continue
have to tell our
to
story.
tell the story, because the story of what keeps you strong
Mhm.
and what keeps you motivated
And
to
what
continue.
that's the part. It keeps you motivated to continue.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we have to tell our story.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. We got to do more of it. It's we used to do a lot more awards, but this year it's going to be very, very specific. And we're going to have more time to make sure that people understand who these people are that are being awarded, why they're being awarded.
Mhm. And that's important. People need to understand why.
Yeah. And Tashana does a really good job of making sure as an organization we don't forget about those individuals that do the work, but really don't look for the accolades.
Mhm.
They're doing it because it's important to get done. They're doing it because they have a heart and a soul for other people. Like one of the awards that we have is Staffer of the Year Award.
Bruce Feaster.
The Bruce Feaster Staffer
Oh
of the Year
wow,
Award.
yes,
yeah.
and that's another name that
Mhm.
people don't know, and how impactful Bruce was in organizing
Yes.
and just organizing voting.
People have no clue.
They don't have-
I tell people, we talk about this and other people. I am so grateful that I was able to work with people like Bruce and others,
Mhm.
because that really taught me how to campaign. Right now, people don't know how to campaign. There's no campaign. It's just social media now. But back
Mhm.
then, they taught you how to, it was a whole system, a whole mechanism of everything. And I'm just grateful that I was able to work with Abner Hogan, like
Yes,
different people
Avenel.
that were
Ray Solomon.
Ray
Oh my
Solomon.
gosh, my guy.
That's my
My guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ray
yes.
Solomon, Lord, and we honor them at every meeting we have, not just award shows.
Right.
We have a poster of anybody who come before us and they're not here anymore.
Mhm.
Oh, we honor them before the meeting, after the meeting, during the meeting. They are up. Their pictures are on the table. Yes, we lay them out.
Yeah.
Because you will know who they are. You will see this face and know who they are.
Yeah, we gotta get some more of those printed because people collect them.
I know they take them
home.
all the time.
They take them home and they put them on the refrigerator. but that's
But that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, that's important.
that's
they
because
have to be
people need to
remembered.
know about that. I mean, and I remember Ray so clearly. We'd have elections, and people still they don't do it today, and it still bothers me. I got to get back. When we knew that people in a certain block had not voted,
Mm-hmm.
we would send out teams of people to that particular block and have them knock on doors. They don't do that anymore. Everything can't be social media. You can't do it all electronically. You've
You
got to have some
can't.
face-to-face contact with people. And then we
Yes.
would send out the team to that block. We'd send out cars, put them in the cars, and take
So
them to the
y'all had the
voting location.
bullhorns?
Yeah,
Ray
take-
used to have bullhorns in his
Take them
car.
to the voting
and give them
locations.
to people.
We had the sound trucks. I never forget. Ray had a sound truck.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And the sound truck would be blaring my name, but the sound trucks would be out there talking about voting.
No, they don't do that
anymore.
anymore.
They don't even knock doors
As
anymore.
much as I'm telling, and we not
They
doors
go
on
to
election
they go
day.
to events.
Yes.
And I'm saying you're not. And they say I got this in the bag. I got
Mm.
300 likes on Facebook.
Mm,
First of all, half of them people can't even vote for you.
that's the piece, and the other half aren't registered.
Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, so there were some people: Ray Solomon, Bruce Feaster, Abenal, who really taught us, our generation, how to properly campaign, grassroots campaigning. There were, of course, you got to do all the other stuff, but a lot of people wouldn't be where they are today if it wasn't for those folks.
That's right.
Let me raise my hand.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and so those
That's
names,
right.
and even though they were, none of those names I just mentioned ever got elected to anything, but they are stalwarts in our community.
They were the impetus of getting a whole
And they
lot of
got
folks
a lot
elected.
of people
Yeah.
elected.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And the
Me-
other thing they did, they told the stories. They
Mhm.
told history.
Mhm,
Like I tell people, Bruce Feaster used to call us at 5:30 in the morning.
mhm.
Swear to God, 5:30 in the
Mhm.
morning, telling the history of people around the state of Michigan.
Mhm.
One, Pamela Pugh,
Yes.
who I didn't even think I remember.
Mhm.
He talked about Pamela Pugh all the time. Now look at Pamela
Mhm.
Pugh.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Ray Solomon telling the history
Yes.
of McNamara and Coleman and
Mhm.
over and over again on repeat. Like they were always teaching you a lesson and telling you something when you were around them. And I
Mhm.
think we annoy people because we find ourselves doing the same thing. Like we'll be in office and we're telling the stories of what happened before and why and how these
But that's
people
as
are
it should
connected.
be. Because
Yeah.
if you don't tell it, they won't know.
Yeah.
And they won't know the connection. That's
Yep.
the important part, is the connection.
Yeah, that you're absolutely right. I mean, a lot of people don't like another name
Mhm.
that we giving an award out in his honors is the Bob Millender.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
lot
I
of
know
people
about
Oh,
Bob
my
Miller.
goodness.
About Bob
And
Millender.
especially now that really they took the name
Name
off
off
the
the
You too.
Millender
building.
You
Center.
too.
Oh, man, I
Oh,
hated
too.
that. That
You
made
too.
me so mad.
Yeah.
He talked
Yes.
about that forever.
Oh, my
goodness.
How
That made me
they
so
take
mad.
Bob
The
Miller?
name off
Maybe
the-
Mayor, you'll put it back.
Off the Millender Center. Oh my
Maybe
goodness.
the mayor will put it back.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, Bob Millender was special.
Yes.
And
Yes.
to know his story, I think, and the kind of kingmaker he sort of was, and the person he connected so many dots. To just know that story is a blessing to me.
Yes.
And the family that he came from and
Mhm.
how close him and Coleman were, and the reason why the Millender Center and the Coleman and Young Center are right next to each other and
Yes.
attached to each
People
other.
Yes,
don't know
yes.
that story and they just think they're two buildings.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, and so another I know you want to talk about something else, but I gotta
This
make
is what I
sure.
want- this is what I want to talk about. This
Yeah.
is because people need to know.
Mhm.
And I like to tell stories so the people who are listening in our audience, which is all over the country, they need to hear it. And we've got people from all over from Detroit who send messages. Oh, I remember so and so. I know that name. I remember.
Mm-hmm. And then so but we also do. So Bob Millender was never elected. Bruce Feaster was never
Mhm.
elected. Another women's business leadership
Oh,
award
yeah.
is Robin Barclay.
Yes.
So a lot of
Barclay.
people don't know the story of
Mhm.
Robin Barclay, probably the only Black woman that was not a doctor to ever own and
A
operate a
hospital.
hospital.
Yes.
And I think after she owned the hospital, they stopped it. You can no longer
Yeah,
own a
they
hospital.
changed the rules.
They
I
changed the
know.
rules.
Like with Richard Austin, they changed the rules.
Always change rules on stuff, right?
They changed the rules.
Yeah,
This one never
happen
happened
again. How did this happen? We can't never let
how
this
did
happen
this
again.
happen? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah, but she was from Detroit. I mean, and a phenomenal businesswoman
Mhm.
that helped change the lives of so many people, not only in healthcare but also in business. And so we honor her every single
Her
year.
son flies
Her
in.
son flies in
Yes.
from
From
California.
California.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Tommy Duncan. Big
Mhm.
shout out to Tommy Duncan
Yep.
for being so supportive over the years. But you know, her name should never be forgotten.
Never.
Just like the other ones that we mentioned prior to her. Their stories should always continuously be told, because you never know who is out there listening that you can inspire to be that next big time businesswoman that breaks and shatters all the glass ceilings and leaves a legacy behind for others to follow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stories like Douglas Hubbard Transportation,
Uh-huh.
DHT Transportation.
DHT
People see that DHT and they don't know what
it
that means.
No.
Walt Douglas and Paul Hubbard, when we started busing, when they started busing in Detroit, and said, and we don't have any black bus owners.
Yes.
I was on the school board at the time. We provided dollars to make sure that Hubbard Douglas Transportation existed, and that's how it started. And they transportation, because how are we going to bus and busing don't have a
And
black
black, but
don't have a black ownership of a bus company. That's where DHT Transportation came from.
And that's what Detroit, we born and raised a number of, you know, leaders just like you, Honorable Commissioner Bell, who have, you know, transcended so many different communities, been able to step in the gap of leadership and make things happen. And so black folk can actually prosper and have the opportunity to do more for their own community.
And it's just so important we continue to find ways to do that.
Mhm.
Richard Trevilian Trucking
Hmm.
became the only black woman-owned trucking company when we started building
Wow.
the stadiums. We said, "Oh, we're about to build these stadiums." What anybody who got a trucking company? And we were at Wayne State University talking to folks about getting involved in business because these stadiums are coming. You need to find something you can do. Sharon Richards Trevilian was the only woman who stepped forward and said, "Okay,
Man,
I'm
know that.
I'm going to start this trucking company." They owned a small company,
Mhm.
but we needed lots and lots of trucks. She got her trucking company all licensed, brought in other smaller black companies to make Richard Trevilian Trucking, and got the contract to move all the dirt. Tiger Stadium.
Oh, yes.
All the dirt
See?
for Tiger Stadium and Ford Field. And she has moved, retired to Texas, but she's doing the same thing in Texas.
That's
Starting a
beautiful.
trucking training program now in Texas. But Sharon Richards Trevilian was the only black woman who owned a trucking company, and she got the contract to move that dirt. But
That's beautiful.
They were not
See?
happy. They were not happy with Wayne County Commissioner at the
I'm
time.
sure they
but that
wouldn't.
was okay. I was going to make sure that black woman got that contract.
That's what
That's what
needed.
leadership is
That's
about.
leadership.
And
right
then
there.
you know, I see this on social media a lot. She talks about it a lot now. Her and her sisters used to order from Jukebox the music television station.
The box,
And
cable.
the
box. Run that
great
cable bill
cable
up.
box
Run
that
it.
everybody had growing up
Uh-huh.
was by Don Barton.
Yes.
Started off as Barton
There
Cable.
it is. That's right.
He might have been the only black man
He
to own a
was.
cable company.
He was the first and only black man to own a cable company in the nation.
And Comcast bought him out.
Comcast bought him out.
That's
yes.
right.
Yes.
And so, I mean, and you see it and people talk about it on social media, but they don't really know or not mention in the
and the Bartons
backstory.
grew up in Inkster.
Yep, in Inkster,
Yeah.
Michigan.
They
That's right.
always had a wonderful family reunion every year in Inkster where we would all go out and have big fun in this big backyard they had. But Barton Cable, he became partners with other casino owners
All across the
and opened
country.
a casino
in Vegas,
Louisiana, and Gary, Indiana. When
Gary.
the first one opened in Gary, Indiana, well, busloads of us went over for the grand opening in Indiana. So those stories.
I used to stay at his hotel
Mhm.
and when in Vegas.
In Vegas,
when
yes,
I would
yes,
go, I'd make a
yes.
point to stay at his
Yes.
hotel.
And he was downtown
Yeah,
on
right on the
Fairmount
strip.
Street.
Yeah,
On Fairmount
I mean,
Street.
you can't beat
And
that.
every year we had a big reunion out of
Yeah.
the Fairmount where he bought his
He's
casino
not-
in Vegas.
That's right. He's not far removed either. And then there was so Don Barton, man.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we give turkeys away this year or in every year now is because of his Thanksgiving turkey giveaway that he used to give every year. And I forget his wife's name.
Bella Marshall.
Bella Marshall. Bella Marshall.
Bella Marshall
She used to run that dinner.
Bella Marshall was the CFO for the city of Detroit.
That's right.
Worked for Coleman Young, the
Uh-huh.
first black female to be CFO major city.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Bella Marshall
And
wasn't no
Bella
joke,
Marshall-
man.
Bella Marshall and Don Barton got married
Yeah.
and became a talk about powerhouse.
Oh,
Powerhouse
Lord.
couple. Yeah, they were a powerhouse couple. Yeah.
Yes.
Bella Marshall. I'll
Yeah,
never
Bella
forget Bella
Marshall,
Marshall.
yes.
No, I used to have to, because they had it at Burt's.
Mhm, yes.
And I used to have to work at the bar whenever they were having a turkey giveaway.
And before they had it at Burstall, they had it at a bar on Gratiot,
Not the Black Horse.
right at the corner of where Paradise Valley is. now.
Yeah. Yeah, that
What's
was
the
that was
name?
Burt. That was
That-
the I
that
think it
was
was
the-
the Black Horse.
That
It
was
was
the
yeah, it was
and
it was
that's
Burt's
where
bar.
that's where they gave out.
Yeah, that's where they
turkeys the first
started.
night.
Yeah,
That's where they started. Yes.
Yep. So I that's one of the reasons why why we do turkey
Every year
giveaways
we do
every year
turkey.
now.
Mhm.
Is because of that. I used to see that growing up. That was
Yes.
part of my upbringing.
Yep.
And once I got the ability to be able to do it, we've been doing it ever since.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, Don Barton. Big shout out to Don Barton and the Barton family out there.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Pro Tem
Oh,
and
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Look just like him too.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Look just like him too.
Yes. Yes.
So no, I appreciate being able to. I really look forward to the leadership awards every year. Whether we get donations from folk or not, we find a way to do it as big as possible to make sure that people can, hear these stories, meet these individuals, and be inspired.
You're being very modest. So I would say this. We don't even look for donations or sponsorship.
No, we don't.
We don't.
You just go do.
We do it.
You just go
And
do it.
we do it. Well, I would say he does it with his own money. And the purpose is to make sure, yes, there are elected officials that get the awards but for the majority part is grassroots leaders
Mhm.
that, like he said, that don't want to their names
They
called
just do
out.
it because
They don't
do it
expect
because
it.
it's the right thing to do.
Literally, you have to
Mhm.
force them to come to the award show.
Mhm.
This is how much they don't want it. But we do it because this is their chance to get dressed up for one, even if this is the only time in their life,
Mhm.
like for a real classy event and for people to say thank you to them. So no, we don't look for sponsorships. It is opportunity for sponsorship, but we don't chase them. We don't beg for them because we already take care of it
Mhm.
anyway. It's just a way of really giving back and saying thank you because organizing is hard work.
Organizing is hard. Organizing
And
is
then
hard.
one of the things that I think that people is the last thing I want to say on it, but I think this is important because I don't think that that people realize that there are more than just African Americans that contribute to the African American
Mhm.
community.
Oh,
So
yeah.
every
Mhm.
year we tell the story of Viola Liuza and how she gave her life
Mhm.
for democracy and fighting for African Americans to get registered to vote.
Yep.
A Wayne State student from the city of Detroit who's not black, Jewish American. And so we honor her in her name every single year and give an award away to a non-African American who's standing up for our community as well. And so that's
And that's important. And there's a young man, I can't think of his name. His name is Nate Shapiro. That's what it
Nate
is.
Shapiro.
Nate Shapiro and Coleman Young were best
Best
friends.
Oh, wow.
Best friends.
Yeah, Nate Shapiro.
And Nate Shapiro
Huge.
supported everything I've ever done. He and Coleman Young were buddies forever.
Mhm,
He was
Mm.
always there. He had an engineering little shop on Livernois,
mhm.
right behind, not Livernois, Wyoming, just south of 6 Mile, right
Mm.
behind Mary Grove,
Mm.
and had been there forever. Nate Shapiro supported everything that ever happened. in Detroit as it relates to Black folks.
Yeah.
Nate Shapiro was a wonderful supporter.
Yeah, and so people, we got to remember that as African Americans, yes, we need to support our own, but we can't, disregard those who are standing with us.
Get there.
That's right.
That's
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And so we just had our passing of the torch
yesterday.
Yesterday, tell her a little bit more about what happened yesterday.
Oh, it was beautiful. So we had some past year awardees. Yvonne Cash, UAW, joined us.
Yes.
Dr. Sabrina Jackson.
Yes.
She's the last year awardee. Judge Scruggs.
Oh yeah, Judge Scruggs from Wayne County.
Also Judge Chastity. She didn't join us, but she's a last year awardee. And so it's great because it allows the nominee to see the past awardees and hear their stories, their struggles, their, what they became to be. And they all walk around a room and you're meeting everybody and making connections. This is beautiful to see. So yeah.
That's very special. And they'll remember that forever.
Oh, they do. They gain relationships, partnerships, businesses from this one experience.
They will remember that forever. Now, talk about it. Location, time, date, how much are tickets so people can, if one buy tickets, tell them how to get there, what they need to do.
Yep. So they can go to myblackleader.com. That's miblackleader.com, like Michigan Black Leader. So it's miblackleader.com. You can purchase tickets on the website. It's Thursday, November 20th at the Detroit Institute of Arts. We rent out the entire place. The pre-reception is phenomenal. We this year, I know that one of the 2 or 3 Lifetime Achievement Awards is going to, and I'll say it, Diane Lewis from Channel 7. Isaiah Thomas as well, for all the wonderful things that they've done in this community, for our community. And so November 20th, Detroit Institute of Arts, you can purchase tickets at myblackleader.com right now. And they're
not that expensive, folks. You can do this.
No,
they're not. They're not that expensive.
How much
they start at $39.
No, that's the buy one, get one free. So we do have buy one, get one free because we are so nice. And it is. We do have buy one, get one free. We have an early bird ticket that we have extended for the last time. Now, the VIP ticket is $120 or something like that. But we have Shirley Murdoch, and that is our sponsorship reception with all of, sponsors and like Isaiah Thomas and the VIP guests that will be in that room. But tickets are not expensive at all.
So support this organization, support your own people, please. You don't think anything of going to a concert at the Fox Theater paying hundreds of dollars for a ticket. It just amazes me. But support. Yeah, you can do that, and you need to be there. It's history. You need to know your history.
Yeah, and we get people from all over the state, and so I know this year
we have people from all over the country.
Too. Yeah, so we do have a lot of people coming from other states, Indiana, North Carolina,
DC,
New York,
Virginia,
DC,
everywhere, and then down south. They're coming from everywhere,
but they're also coming from Lansing, Flint, Muskegon, Benton Harbor, all coming to this award ceremony to recognize great Black leaders. And so Sarah Anthony will be there, from State Representative Sarah Anthony. If you don't know who she is, you need to know who she is. I'm sorry, Senator
Sarah
Anthony. You went from commissioner to senator right now. Okay,
sorry, my bad. Yeah, Sarah Anthony will be there. And of course, Alicia and Edna Bell, you are supportive every year. We'll see you there again. It's a great time. Get dressed up, put on your black tie, put on your tux, put on your gown. Last year was special because I proposed on stage in front of everybody last year. I don't know if she can top that, but I know she's gonna try.
I am not going to try.
But it was a great event last year. It's always a great event, and so you don't want to miss this, audience. You don't want to miss it. So be sure you get your tickets early, because they will run out.
They're almost gone.
It will be jam packed. So do know that. So you better hurry up and get your tickets. Now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the restaurant.
Yeah.
Talk about the restaurant.
So we got it's Midtown Social on Woodward and Willis. We've been open about 6 months now. It's a phenomenal place. Yesterday we were packed pretty much all day yesterday, and so the business is really picking up. We have some great partners involved, and we're really doing this to change the sort of the social scene in Midtown and make it more of a
Inclusive.
more of a very inclusive,
Yes.
make it more of a very inclusive location
And
with,
representative.
with great food.
of the city.
Yeah, and so you get these, a lot of, I used to go to the Click for breakfast a lot, and I love the Click.
Mhm.
And we want to be something similar to how the Click has always been for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Those places where you can come have a conversation
And see,
and meet
you never
somebody.
know who you're gonna see.
Exactly.
You
never
That's
know.
exactly. That's exactly what we're doing it for.
Yes.
So Midtown Social 4601 Midtown on Woodward, right on the corner of Willis. Stop on by.
Now tell them where Willis is, because a lot of folks are not going to recognize the name Willis, but they'll recognize, right down the street from
McDonald's.
It's
Right-
right
the
next door.
Theater
Right
and
next
the
door to
garden,
the- yeah,
garden's
Garden
right
Theater,
next
yep,
door.
right
and,
next door,
So,
yep.
yeah.
The bowling alley and the Garden Theater. We're right next
Mhm.
door. Kitty corner to the McDonald's has been there forever, right there on Woodward in Midtown, not but a few blocks away from Wayne State University, just short of downtown, and just short of Mack Avenue. And so it's between Warren and Mack on Willis, literally a block away from the DMC, the Detroit Medical Center. So if you are an employee of the DMC, come see us for lunch sometime.
And it's on the east side of the street.
Yes,
I mean,
ma'am.
you can't.
Yeah, you
right
can't
in the
miss
corner.
it.
It's
It's right on the
corner.
corner. Right on the
Right.
corner. Can't miss it.
What are the hours?
We're closed on Mondays. We're open Tuesday through Sunday,
Okay.
9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
All right. Okay, everybody. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday through Sunday. Whatever you need is there. And I understand the food is absolutely delicious. What was that? Somebody told me.
Oh, they're talking
Oh, yeah,
about
they're
it.
talking about it. There's the beef ribs.
Oh yeah,
The-
burnt in tacos.
yeah,
Burnt in tacos.
Or that you can be talking about the stacker.
Oh, the rib stack.
The
Yeah,
rib
the rib stack is
stack. Oh,
phenomenal.
my
It took us 6 months to find a chef.
It
but
took a while to find a
The chef is
and
amazing.
He is incredible.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's really not only is he a great chef, but he's a great educator. One of the things that was important to our team was finding someone that can help bring along the next generation of chefs. And so you'll see a lot of young people coming in and out of the kitchen because they're learning how to
Young
become
African American.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
it's a phenomenal place, a phenomenal project. We dove right into the art scene. A lot of the booths right now are art pieces that you can purchase that were
Wonderful.
created by a young artist. So they change out, once every couple of months, or when someone purchases them. And so the food is phenomenal. Try to burn in tacos, try our desserts. We're really known for our beignets. We change our ice cream every month.
Oh, I'm an ice cream person.
Oh
so
yeah, come on in, come
I'll
on
be
by.
there.
Yeah, come on by.
I'll
This is
be there.
phenomenal. Yeah. So Midtown Social,
There we go.
4601 Woodward on the corner of Willis, right next door to the Garden Theater.
All right. Very good. Thank you so much, both
You
of
are
for
so
being here. I
welcome.
am so glad you were able to come in, but I just wanted everybody to know about the Leadership Awards Dinner and talk about how disappointed we are in the election
Yes.
result. Not the
Yeah.
result
But we're
was
going to
okay,
help change it.
but we just want to know
Turnout.
the turnout is what we are
Yeah.
concerned about
Yeah.
turnout.
Yeah,
So
we're concerned.
and we're
about
going to work
that.
on that.
Yeah, we're gonna work
We're
on
gonna
that.
work on that.
We
We
got
have a
another election
plan.
coming next year.
Yeah.
So we're going to work on that. It's got to be better. Thank you so much for joining me. I
Thank you.
appreciate you so much.
We appreciate
Appreciate
you.
you.
We appreciate. Okay, everybody. We'll see you next week. Community Bell Show, stellar award-winning WVTC Radio Detroit.
Oh, wow.
We've won 2 stellar awards. I want you to know, and it's a wonderful thing. Our owner, Sandy Rose, is a wonderful, wonderful lady. She has done great programming, and we appreciate her. So we'll see you next Monday at 4:00. Bell Show. Have a great week.
Thank you for listening to Community Bell with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. This broadcast was brought to you by WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, tell a friend to tune in. We'll see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern to the Community Bell Show, right here on WVTC Radio Detroit. You're listening to WVTC.
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.